Welcome to the Rebel to Succeed podcast. It's your boy Anthony Williams, the founder of rebeltosucceed.com. The purpose of this podcast is to share tips, advice, and strategies to help you improve in all areas of your life. My mission is to make a positive difference in your life to help you live your best life. Now let's get it. What up, Rebels? It's your boy Ann from Rebel to Succeed coming at you with another podcast episode. So today in this podcast, we have a very special guest. I can relate to this person on all types of levels. I'm going to share a clip by a lady named Diana Nyad or Nyad. I hope I'm saying her name correctly. She's a very inspirational person. She inspired me on so many different levels. Very, very inspirational woman. I'm gonna share this clip from you guys and I'll elaborate on her. But check out this clip by Diana.
It's the fifth time I stand on this shore, the Cuban shore, looking out at that distant horizon, believing again that I'm going to make it all the way across that vast, dangerous wilderness of an ocean. Not only have I tried 4 times, but the greatest swimmers in the world have been trying since 1950, and it's still never been done. The team is proud of our 4 attempts. It's an expedition of some 30 people. Bonnie is my best friend and head handler, who somehow summons will, that last drop of will within me when I think it's gone, after many, many hours and days out there. The shark experts are the best in the world, large predators below. The box jellyfish, the deadliest venom in all of the ocean, is in these waters, and I have come close to dying from them on a previous attempt. The conditions themselves, besides the sheer distance of over 100 miles in the open ocean, currents and whirling eddies, and the Gulf Stream itself, the most unpredictable of all of the planet Earth. And by the way, it's amusing to me that journalists and people, before these attempts often, ask me, well, are you going to go with any boats or any people or anything? And I'm thinking, what are they imagining? That I'll just sort of do some celestial navigation and, carry a Bowie knife in my mouth, and I'll hunt fish and skin them alive and, eat them, and maybe drag a desalinization plant behind me for fresh water. Yes, I have a team. And the team is expert. And the team is courageous and brimming with innovation and scientific discovery, as is true with any major expedition on the planet. And we've been on a journey. And the debate has raged, hasn't it, since the Greeks, of isn't it what it's all about? Isn't life about the journey, not really the destination? And here we've been on this journey, and the truth is it's been thrilling. We haven't reached that other shore, and still, our sense of pride and commitment, unwavering commitment. When I turned 60, the dream was still alive from having tried this in my 20s and dreamed it and imagined it. The most famous body of water on the earth today, I imagine, Cuba to Florida. And it was deep in my soul. And when I turned 60, it wasn't so much about the athletic accomplishment. It wasn't the sort of ego of, I want to be the first. That's always there, and it's undeniable. But it was deeper. It was, how much life is there left? Let's face it, we're all on a one-way street, aren't we? And what are we going to do? What are we going to do? as we go forward, to have no regrets looking back. And all this past year in training, I had that Teddy Roosevelt quote, to paraphrase it, floating around in my brain. And it says, you go ahead. You go ahead and sit back in your comfortable chair and you be the critic. You be the observer. While the brave one gets in the ring and engages and gets bloody and gets dirty and fails over and over and over again, but yet isn't afraid and isn't timid and lives life in a bold way. And so, of course, I want to make it across. It is the goal. And I should be so shallow to say that this year, the destination was even sweeter than the journey. But the journey itself was worthwhile taking. And at this point, by this summer, everybody, scientists, sports scientists, endurance experts, neurologists, my own team, Bonnie, said it's impossible. It just simply can't be done. And Bonnie said to me, but if you're going to take the journey, I'm going to see you through to the end of it. So I'll be there. And now we're there. And as we're looking out, kind of a surreal moment before the first stroke, standing on the rocks at Marina Hemingway, the Cuban flag is flying above, all my teams out in their boats, hands up in the air. We're here. We're here for you. Bonnie and I look at each other and we say, this year the mantra is, and I've been using it in training, find a way. You have a dream, and you have obstacles in front of you, as we all do. None of us ever get through this life without heartache, without turmoil. And if you believe and you have faith, and you can get knocked down and get back up again, and you believe in perseverance as a great human quality, you find your way. And Bonnie grabbed my shoulders and she said, let's find our way to Florida. And we started. And for the next 53 hours, it was an intense, unforgettable life experience. The highs were high, the awe. I'm not a religious person, but I tell you, to be in the azure blue of the Gulf Stream, as if as you're breathing, you're looking down miles and miles and miles, to feel the majesty of this blue planet we live on. It's awe-inspiring. I have a playlist of about 85 songs, and especially in the middle of the night. And that night, because we use no lights, lights attract jellyfish, lights attract sharks, lights attract bait fish that attract sharks. So we go in the pitch black of the night. You've never seen black, this black. You can't see the front of your hand, and the people on the boat, Bonnie and my team on the boat, they just hear the slapping of the arms, and they know where I am because there's no visual at all. And I'm out there kind of tripping out on my little playlist. I've got tight rubber caps. I don't hear a thing. I've got goggles, and I'm turning my head 50 times a minute. I'm singing, imagine there's no heaven. Do-do-do-do-do. It's easy if you try. Do-do-do-do. And I could sing that song 1,000 times in a row. Now there's a talent unto itself. And each time I get done with, ooh, you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. 222. Imagine there's no heaven. And when I get to the end of 1,000 of John Lennon's Imagine, I have swum 9 hours and 45 minutes. Exactly. And then there are the crises. Of course there are. And the vomiting starts, the seawater, you're not well, you're wearing a jellyfish mask for the ultimate protection. It's difficult to swim in, it's causing abrasions on the inside of the mouth, but the tentacles can't get you. and the hypothermia sets in. The water's 85 degrees, and yet you're losing weight and using calories. And as you come over toward the side of the boat, not allowed to touch it, not allowed to get out, but Bonnie and her team hands me nutrition and asks me what I'm doing, how am I all right? I am seeing the Taj Mahal over here. I'm in a very different state. And I'm thinking, wow, I never thought I'd be running into the Taj Mahal out here. It's good, gorgeous. I mean, how long did it take them to build that? It's just so, woo. And then we kind of have a cardinal rule that I'm never told really how far it is, because we don't know how far it is. What's going to happen to you between this point and that point? What's going to happen to the weather and the currents? And God forbid you're stung when you don't think you could be stung in all this armor. And Bonnie made a decision coming into that third morning that I was suffering and I was hanging on by a thread. And she said, come here. And I came close to the boat and she said, look out there. And I saw light, because the day's easier than the night. And I thought we were coming into day. And I saw a stream of white light along the horizon. And I said, it's going to be morning soon. She said, no, those are the lights of Key West. It was 15 more hours, which for most swimmers would be a long time. You have no idea how many 15-hour training swims I had done. So here we go, and I somehow, without a decision, went into no counting of strokes and no singing and no quoting Stephen Hawking and the, parameters of the universe. I just went into thinking about this dream and why and how. And as I said, when I turned 60, it wasn't about that concrete, can you do it? That's the everyday machinations. That's the discipline, and it's the preparation, and there's a pride in that. But I decided to think as I went along about, the phrase usually is reaching for the stars, and in my case, it's reaching for the horizon. And when you reach for the horizon, as I've proven, you may not get there, but what a tremendous build of character and spirit that you lay down. What a foundation you lay down in reaching for those horizons. And now the shore is coming. And there's just a little part of me that's sad. The epic journey is going to be over. So many people come up to me now and say, what's next? We love that. That little tracker that was on the computer, when are you going to do the next one? We just can't wait to follow the next one. Well, they were just there for 53 hours. And I was there for years. And so there won't be another epic journey in the ocean. But the point is, and the point was, that every day of our lives is epic. And I'll tell you, when I walked up onto that beach, staggered up onto that beach, and I had, so many times in a very puffed up ego way, rehearsed what I would say on the beach. When Bonnie thought that the back of my throat was swelling up, and she brought the medical team over to our boat to say, that she's really beginning to have trouble breathing. Another 12, 24 hours in the salt water, the whole thing. And I just thought in my hallucinatory moment that I heard the word tracheotomy. And Bonnie said to the doctor, I'm not worried about her not breathing. If she can't talk when she gets to the shore, she's going to be pissed off. But the truth is, all those orations that I had practiced just to get myself through some training swims as motivation, it wasn't like that. It was a very real moment with that crowd, with my team. We did it. I didn't do it. We did it. And we'll never forget it. It'll always be part of us. And the three things I did sort of blurt out when we got there was, first, never, ever give up. I live it. What's the phrase from today from Socrates? To be is to do. So I don't stand up and say, Don't ever give up. I didn't give up. There was action behind these words. The second is, you can chase your dreams at any age. You're never too old. 64, that no one at any age, any gender could ever do, has done it, and has no doubt in my mind that I am at the prime of my life today. Yeah. Thank you. And the third thing I said on that beach was, it looks like the most solitary endeavor in the world, and in many ways, of course, it is. And in other ways, and the most important ways, it's a team. When you achieve your dreams, it's not so much what you get as who you have become in achieving them. And yeah, I stand before you now. In the 3 months since that swim ended, I've sat down with Oprah, and I've been in President Obama's Oval Office. I've been invited to speak in front of esteemed groups such as yourselves. I've signed a wonderful major book contract. All of that's great, and I don't denigrate it. I'm proud of it all, but the truth is, I'm walking around tall because I am that bold, fearless person. And I will be every day until it's time for these days to be done.
So that was a clip by Diana. Right off the bat, she's, her motto is never ever give up. And that, I mean, that's obviously that's your typical, motivational, thing that you would tell people, right? And it's it's important that people grasp that concept and people remember that, because um when stuff hits the fan and you in the midst of your adversity, it's very easy to forget that, one of the main roads to success is through perseverance and never ever giving up. So I've said this before and I'll say it again. If you're in a race and you're running a race, you're never ever going to make it to the finish line unless you keep continuously putting one step forward in front of the other. You may not come in first, you may not come in second, you may come in dead last, but I can guarantee you this, that if you don't continue to push forward to the finish line, you're never going to make it to the finish line. It goes hand in hand with the action. If you don't put in the work and you don't put in the action, you're never going to reach success. Action is the foundational key to all success. You have to do something. You see what I'm saying? So, and, I love this lady because she's very inspirational. She's known for swimming. She's a marathon swimmer. She swam. That sounds funny. Swam. But she swam from I believe it was Florida to Cuba. Yeah, I believe it was Florida to Cuba. And I mean, like, just listen to that. Like, the lady, she's a marathon swimmer. So she took an I didn't even realize there was marathon swimmers. But when I came across her clip and I looked her up and I researched her, she's a very motivational person. You know what I mean? Because there's one thing for you to, to continue to push forward on land. She doing it in water, in the ocean, where there's, jellyfish that can stink, like sharks. You see what I'm saying? So this lady, very, very motivational person. And her motto is never, ever give up. I believe she tried this whole, trying to swim from, Florida to Cuba, a couple times, and she failed. But her motto was never ever give. Of course, she didn't do it by herself. I believe she goes over that in her clip. But it takes a team to do something like that. But she would have never made it to Cuba, if she didn't, continue to push forward and it's just there's just some keys to success, and that is just one you can't get around, man. You're gonna have to just keep pushing forward. You're gonna have to. It may take you some time. You see what I'm saying? So people may think that, okay, because this may be her third or fourth time doing this, that she was a failure on the first two. She wasn't. She's a failure if she would have never tried to do it again. If she didn't make it the first or the second time and she didn't try again, then she's a failure. That's all a part of the process. You know what I mean? That's all a part of it. So she never gave up. She kept trying until she reached her goal. And that's the key. You see what I'm saying? That's the key. And I feel like some people are sidetracked and they're discouraged from trying to go after their goals and their dreams because they don't want to continue to put in the work. But it's like, then you don't want to reach your goal. You really don't want it that bad. Like, how bad do you want it? So, that it goes to show you how much desire and how much, ambition you have for whatever you're trying to do. Like, some people are just not ambitious about nothing and they just want stuff handed to them, and it's not going to happen for you. Like, I'm sorry, boo boo. I'm sorry, G. I'm sorry, homie. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen, bruh. Like, you got to put in the work. Like, once you realize that, you got to put in the work. Like, I mean, stop looking for a handout. You know what I mean? Stop looking for the easy way out. You know what I mean? Stop acting like a little chump. Put in some work. That's the main key to it. Is working. You know what I mean? Or whether and work comes in totally like. Let me say this. Work comes in all different shapes and forms. You could be somebody who has to really put in some physical work. It may come to you being putting in work on the computer. We're doing research. But it's all like when I think of work, I'm thinking of action. You know what I mean? So maybe I should say that. You got to take action because work and taking action, it's all relative. You know what I mean? And it's different. You know what I mean? Back in the industrial age, work was working in factories. Now, people can work on the computer. Like, some people work on the computer all day, every day. That's work. You see what I'm saying? Them doing research, that's work. Them making calls, that's work. Them talking to clients, that's work. Them reading, that's work. Anything can be work is different to everybody. But at the end of the day, if you want to reach some type of success, you're gonna have to take some type of action. And you're gonna have to keep doing what you gotta do and pushing forward until you reach your success. That's one thing I do know. That's not different. That will always be the same. You're gonna have to put in some type of work. It don't matter what type of work it is, but you're gonna have to do some type of work. You're gonna have to put in some type of action. So, once you realize that and wrap that around your head and stop trying to take the easy way out, thinking you can achieve something long lasting without work, like you're delusional. So this lady, she swam from Florida to Cuba. And her main, message in his speech was never, ever give up. Another person that's telling you, like, perseverance and consistency and determination, all of those things that I talk about on this platform is just, it's kind of like, we're picking the minds of some of the highest achievers, and it's like a theme. Hopefully you guys are seeing the theme. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is a theme that keeps coming up from, people like successful people all around the world in different types of fields. You know what I mean? This is not nothing new. And it's just, to inspire and motivate you guys on your daily grind. You know what I mean? We all have our daily things that we got to do, but this is just assurance that if you can, have some patience and consistently put in some work over time, I can guarantee you'll become successful in whatever you're trying to do. And whatever you're trying to do. You may not hit it in your time, like your exact time frame, but eventually you're going to get better or eventually you're going to hit your mark. So just be, rest assured in that, eventually if I keep pushing forward, I'll get to the finish line. So hopefully you guys found some type of value in this. I'm very inspired by this lady, Diana, and hopefully you guys have been inspired as well. And if you guys have found value in this, I invite you guys to go leave a review. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. And yeah, man, I also I would invite you guys to go check her out. She's a very inspirational person, and check out some of her. She has like documentaries and stuff like that on her whole journey from from swimming from Florida to Cuba and stuff like that. So go check her out. And yeah, go check out the website rebeltosucceed.com. And last but not least, you already know, be a rebel, rebel to succeed, show somebody some love today. And it's your boy Ant from Rebel to Succeed, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. I want to thank you for joining me today and listening to this podcast. If you found this episode helpful or valuable in any way, then I encourage you to leave an honest review and subscribe to the Rebel to Succeed podcast for future episodes. To receive more content and value, make sure to visit the Rebel to Succeed website at www.rebeltosucceed.com. And finally, always remember that to succeed in life, you have to reach everyone by exercising love. So make sure to show somebody some love today. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you next time.